Right, bon appetit, man. It's really fantastic that you met even beings. I mean, jazz world, not really big, quite small, and lots of interesting and funny stories happens with people because of jazz. And every time when you knock in doors in the jazz world, you're expecting to see something new. That's the reason why I'm going to the jazz festivals, to see the new things. And you know that the biggest festivals in the north of Europe, it's the North Sea Jazz Festivals and Rotterdam festivals.
Yes.
And the lots of European, London AFG festivals now, the big one. And
I want to perform at all of those. I want.
but the Jeff must send your profile and say, could you invite to play?
Well, Jeff mainly does the former USSR. That's what our
Russia territory.
Yeah. That's where he concentrates.
Yeah, he knows the ways, how to do it.
Yes, and so and he knows I'm very open to connect with other agents and promoters that are over in Europe. You know, I have an agreement with him for what's Russia and former USSR, but other than that, Japan.
Did you play in Japan?
I've not. I've not.
Japan are crazy about jazz also.
Yes.
And I know that lots of the jazz musicians and jazz singers are singing in the hotels in the East Territory.
Yes.
They invite them to play in the big audience, the big hall. They're singing jazz and things.
And I was approached about singing there, Tibet, some other places. But when I found out that while the money's good, but you're performing 6 days a week.
6 days a week.
And it's you're performing from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. And I've never sung every day. Every day. Every weekend.
Hard job.
Every weekend, yes. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm off on Sunday, and I'm singing 4 sets a night. That's so I applaud those performers because they're making great money, and you're there for 3 to 4 months, and so I understand because it's different for a singer. I say to people all the time, if I get hoarse or if I get a cold, that's like a pianist breaking a finger.
Yeah, you cannot make it.
And so I can imagine you're really not talking during the morning hours because you have to save your voice.
Oh, lady, excuse me that I'm speaking with you like for 2 hours already.
No, I mean if I'm doing 6 days a week. Yes, but no, it's.
The Beatles, when they start to play in Germany, they play like 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day. And then nobody knows them, they are Beatles. They're working hard just for... And that's a good school.
Yes.
Good school. Later they can do anything.
Well, I consider my schooling, training. There's a place in Atlanta called Underground Atlanta, and I performed on stage. And I had to perform to tracks. There was no band, and tourists would be going up and down.
The mic. You mean the minors?
The minors.
Minors when you're singing for tapes. The music playing and you're just using the microphone. The minors call.
It's just accompaniment music on CD at the time on CD, and how I got paid was through tips. And so that meant that I had to attract tourists to tips or selling of my CDs. And I had to attract tourists to come to listen. And so I had to learn quickly on what types of songs would attract them, how to engage them and entertain them, because I didn't have a band with me. So it was just me on stage by myself. I couldn't lean on the musicians, you know, for them to take a solo.
Yeah. Come on.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't do that, and so that was good training for me.
And also, for example, yesterday we have conversation about your repertoire. I understand that your music you send to the band is already done, maybe.
Yes.
But what I can say to you in the ways, because you thinking that our audience, which came in the concert, are waiting from you the jazz standards of Ella Fitzgerald's and some of the music.
Yes.
But keep in mind that the guys and clients who come to your show, they already established jazz lovers, and for them to listen the sentimental mood in the 3,508 time,
yes,
that's a little bit can be fresh or a new unique voice as you have, and something, and they're looking for something new, and that's my advice for you.
Thank you.
Don't just make a copy things, like try to see the guys and make them more interesting. Do something unusual, your personal, because the jazz is the free way to express yourself.
Yes.
Even it doesn't really matter what kind of the standard is, but they're expecting something new. That's what I'm thinking, because they know lots of things. They listen to lots of the guys and musicians, and they still wants refreshments, and that's just to keep in mind. And of course, because you're playing with the Zhenya Pobozhny today, the guitar player, and he will also love talk with this voice. And for you, it can be a really good experience, because you can feel what kind of things he has. Because you see yesterday, right?
Yes.
He's playing, I mean, he's really good. And he's doing this inside of him.
You know, when I was listening to him yesterday, I could tell he was classically trained.
That's for sure.
And he listened to a lot of Charlie Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way he plays is very similar to me, to Charlie Parker.
Yeah. Yesterday I was really exciting that I'm sitting at the other level of the bar, and I see you close your eyes and listen to music, and you're emotionally thinking the ways of how they're doing, and that's really excites me that you keep going for the music.
Yes.
That's it.
Absolutely. And there was a little boy sitting beside me. I don't know if you noticed him. His dad was one of the trumpet players on stage, and I was watching him watch his dad, and that was so exciting for me to see, because he was like moving rhythmically with his dad, you know, with the music, and I asked his mom, does he play drums? Because he was, he had the rhythm, and even his body, he was moving like a dancer. And so I asked his mom, does he play? She says that he tries to play piano. He's 5, I think he was 5. He tries to play the piano. And I said, please let him play as often as he can. I said, and whenever possible, let him connect music to math and science. I said, because they go together. The world, especially scientists, try to separate art and science, or art and music, but they go together. Music is very much so mathematical. And I said to her, please keep them together, because I said, if he's already musically and rhythmically here, I said, mathematically, he'll be amazing.
As I understand that, my point of view, the musicians are the special nation, are born by God. There's no different reason to explain why the one people are sculptors, the difference are musicians. Some guys are paint, some guys are mathematics, and that cannot be just okay. That happens. No.
No, it's a gift.
It's for me. It's definitely for sure that we have, like you said, the DNA, like a musician DNA, because there was a clever show, The Voice of America, when the strange people coming, looking strange, they're coming to the stage and think like miracle and like an angel. Even it can be a kid or a lady like a 56 years old, or there can be a prisoner or unemployed guy or a homeless.
Right.
And that what I understand. But on the one way, we think that gift of God. Okay, we're sitting on the chair and waiting. Where is it? Where is it? My gift appears. And it's too complicated to understand what kind of gift you have. I mean, it's how you search your pupils when they're coming to your master class or for your show. Can you see them stride that this talent?
You can see it like I was able to see the little boy, and encourage the parent, because parents can be a help or hindrance to your gift. So many people that have gifts have parents who hold them down.
Oh yeah.
You know, discourage them. You shouldn't do that, you should do this. And so you can see it in a child, what they naturally gravitate toward. A child who has the gift of building or drawing, they naturally pick up a pen and start doing that.
Yeah.
And so you're able to see it. And so you see it that way. Oftentimes, and I've said to friends of mine, whatever it is that you find yourself doing when you're bored is your gift. Because you kind of take it for granted. We take our gifts for granted. But when we're most bored, when we don't have anything to do, we do that. Or
now we have an iPad, internet, and they go to the computer, but nobody go to the drum set or
those that have that gift will they'll be doing something, tap 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 tap. They'll take a pencil. You know, it will come through even with the technology. I also say, if you think back to when you were a little girl or a little boy, when your parents would say to you, "Stop that! You got to come over here and do this." Whatever that was that they were making you stop doing, again, is in reference to your gift. And so you have to really study it if you don't already, know.
The same happens with you, because you said that your father is a trumpet player and you are born in the musical family.
Yes.
And you was involved in the music industry straight from your birth.
Absolutely, but I was discouraged from going into music as a profession. I was told to go into something else, anything else but music, because music is so hard to make a living at. Or so my father and my mother thought. Both my parents were academicians. My father was a college professor and a minister, and my mother was a librarian, archivist. And so they were very much so, college educated, you go get a degree and go get a job and go work, and so music was not something that they saw as anything other than a hobby, something that you did at church, So, and you didn't make money from it. It was what you did for free, So that was my orientation. And so when I began pursuing music, actually my brother dropped out of college to pursue music, and my dad had a fit. He was angry with my brother, and so of course, my brother's older than me, so of course I didn't want to make my daddy mad. So I went,
you go marketing.
Go to work. And sadly my father passed away before he could experience me leaving the corporate world to pursue music, but still I hear him in the back of my head, often.
Did you copy some of the music? For example, how you train. I mean, some singer said that now they start to selling the CDs without without some voice or bass or with drums and bass, but no saxophone, like no solo, and you can put it in the computer, and they are playing without instruments you need, and for example, without a voice, and you can play with a great musician, with a great guys, and you can be a part of the band.
Yes.
And for example, if you try to be a part of the band of famous guys, like who you choose?
Oh, I'd probably choose to be a part of Marcus Miller's band, for sure. I'd also probably pull in some folks who passed away that existed back in the day, and be a part of their band. But for sure Marcus Miller, and I would also probably Victor Wooten. I love bass players. They're just great. And just probably just kind of gravitate in that realm, to be able to just kind of get their feeling and their energy, because that's what music is all about to me. And if you can replicate that, then it's a wonderful thing. But yes, you can get accompaniment music, and you put your kind of like karaoke.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of like karaoke, or like in the case of I had mentioned that one of my projects, Kirk Whalum is performing on it. Well, we played everything, and then we sent the music to him, and then he added his solo to it, and then sent it back to us, and he gave us 6 different versions for us to select which one we wanted. So that was great. So we could, which is what we did, use a part of this and a part of that, because digitally you can, mix
now
it in.
Technology is
Right. So we were able to do that, and so now that's so much easier than paying for you to travel there, or paying for someone to travel to you. It is so much easier. You do lose a little of the organic, authentic being right there, energy, but hopefully the track is strong enough to be able to.
I mean, now the sound technology can make even note by note. They glue it, and they make it perfect. Even everybody said that cannot be, because they glue it note by note and word by word. Yeah,
it's so hard. And when I look back on, again, my mom was a library and archivist. My dad was a historian, professor. I'm one who appreciates history. And so I will go back and study or watch what others did back in the day. And back then, they would rehearse, so that when they got into the studio, you could do it on the first take or the second take. And it was done, because you would rehearse so much that it was in.
It's like an iceberg.
Yeah.
This part of show and this part of rehearsal.
Yes, absolutely. Where now people go into the studio, because they can do what you just said, mix it, bit by bit, then they're not rehearsing, as much as they could. At least that's been my experience. I've seen it. It's like, I want to rehearse and get it right, but nowadays, unless you have the money, to really pay for rehearsal, people aren't giving their time.
Can you tell something about what's your new album? You said that like a jazz songbook?
The one that I've just finished, and it's being mixed and mastered now, we took cover tunes, and the project is called Uncovered. We're trying to uncover some things that were with some of these cover tunes in a different way, and made it kind of jazzy. And so, for example, I did a remake of Summertime, but we did it in a Latin salsa style, up-tempo salsa. We did Bill Withers' Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. I said when he's gone. And we made that real funky, just really funky. abbreviated and syncopated. And then we did the cover song "Sailing," Christopher Cross, "Sailing," and made it kind of a bossa nova. So we just kind of took some cover tunes and changed them up.
Now it's very fashionable. Like lots of people trying to do like rock songs to play in the jazz way, or the famous pop songs to singing in the jazz way also.
Yes.
They change the rhythm, they change the instruments.
Yes, and the difference, though, to me, is honoring what was and bringing it current, rather than trying to take the music and like some artists are taking the old music and changing and creating new lyrics and new melodies. Some people are doing that. Again, honoring what was old and making a new twist on it. The only downside to that is one would, well, where's the creativity?
Oh yeah.
Where's the new music? And I would argue that there's creativity within that. At the same time, we desperately need new music, because the people that were creative back then, well, we're creative today too. We just have to have the support, the financial support especially, to be able to spend the time to create those songs and the marketing behind it. We don't have the record label engine anymore to back new creations. So.
I think the music industry, anyway, to find the solution and way how to promote these things. Even Steve Jobs made this and he said, all right, guys, you have not $5 for a CD, you have a 5 cent for iTunes download, but you have millions of this. And it's a different story. And he was a genius, and he created the proposal, which nobody can expect, but a little bit tricky for guys who business. Said, huh?
Well, as you know, the music industry is so very different now. Songwriters are not making money anymore. We're not making money from CD sales. You can download everything for free. So how, as a musician, as a performer, are we making money? It's not from CD sales. It's from concerts. Because I can download a song, I can listen to the song all day long, but I can't see that person live performing. And so it's very important that audiences experience the music. Now, unfortunately, if in situations the artist has been created in the studio, then they can't replicate, they can't repeat what they did on that record live, and that's just unfortunate.
The Blue Note is celebrating its 75th anniversary, and the guy who started recording all of these guys playing in his just a small club, I never can expect it that. I think the Blue Note is like a huge place.
Yeah.
And it's just very. And the New York jazz clubs are making me a little bit. I never seen.
They're tiny.
Yeah, they're very small and they're tiny, and I was so surprised. And for example, you go to Iridium and they're playing Simon Phillips and Stevie Smith. They're sitting just listening, and Osnoy just say, "Oh yeah." And you go to the 55 bar and Joe Rosenblatt playing with Mike Stern, and there's some guys from Russian guys on the bass playing, and you cannot imagine that. It's really strange, because I thinking that the jazz music and the concerts and the gigs and the place like for 25 people, and the names like who. Even the Becca Gachashvili and Stanley Clark, they're playing in like a big hall, the dancing hall.
Yeah.
And I was on most of the, I was on the Birdland. I just tried to see most of the club. and I was so excited that they're just normal, nothing special.
But that's where the special comes from in situations like that, because the audience is able to.
Vanguard. I was on the young guard. They're playing big band of the bass player, Christian McBride.
Okay, yeah.
What? And they're like just this size of stage and full of the people and the playing.
But the energy there, and it's that vibration that causes you to go someplace orgasmic. It's just like, and the creation is within that, and that's a heavenly place right there. But you don't have, and you don't have it when you're spread out. It happens when you're tight in there again, because you're sharing energy and vibration. It's you've been there, you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's that creation. This sounds weird, yes, but creation happens in a womb, in a little bitty space.
Yeah.
And it, so same thing. It happens in a little bitty space, and then once it gets out, then it can go further. But that creation happens, and that's just that friction. Oh, you can't beat it.
Do you was in New Orleans?
I've visited and sung in New Orleans. That the energy in New Orleans is very different than the energy in New York, which is very different than the energy in DC, which is very different than the energy in Chicago. The energy in each location is very different and wonderfully unique. It's once you get in and once you feel it, you either like it or you don't. You either adjust or you don't. You have to, because it's not like you can go in and change it. It exists. I can't go to New Orleans and try to do something different. New Orleans is New Orleans. I had the pleasure of meeting Joe Sample, and to hear him before he passed away, and to hear him talk about he got his start as a zydeco musician. He played zydeco. Joe Sample. I'm like, what? I didn't know that. And he was like, yeah. He said we were in the small clubs, in Houston, which is where he was from. He says, and we had to make it happen. And so you've got these honky tonks, these folks that are just kind of just raw, rugged, everyday people, that go to the bar, and you got to entertain them. Otherwise, they're going to talk louder than you play.
Yeah.
So you have to capture their attention. And so I learned that in a restaurant. I was performing every Friday at this one restaurant in Atlanta that was by the airport, and I had to compete with TV screens because they had sports on, as well as it was a meat market. They had people coming off work, and so they were dating, and they had great food. And so my challenge when I'm on stage was to intrigue you so much that you'll be ready to bite something.
Just to put the knife on.
Yeah, and turn and look and say, wow. So that was every week. That was what I was trying to do. Get you not to pay attention to the sports on television, on the movie, on the TVs that are around. Not talk, just pay attention to us on stage. And that began, that's what we try. And the place was packed, and there was a waiting line every week. Mm-hmm. But people knew they could come there.
Most of the people are coming, listen to you.
Yeah.
Again, and they are mouth to mouth, just to go in the gossips that you can come to the club and see the live music.
Right. Every Friday. Now what they did on Saturday and Sunday, I don't know, but I was there on Friday. Yeah, and again, it's that energy that you knew what to expect. You could come, you could invite friends because you knew what you were going to get. Yeah.